Some say West Brom's greatest ever player. He is West Brom's all-time leading scorer. Tony Brown is on the line. Good evening, Tony.
Good evening, Nathan.
Great to talk to you. John is there as well.
Hello, John.
How are you, Tony?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good,
are you?
Good, Tony. I'm great. So far, Tony, so good with this all this stuff going on. Ronnie, I'm good, and you're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Tony
Brown is the only person that had a statue erected for him at West Brom.
Wow.
Quite rightly. Tony Brown is one of the great stars and servants of West Bromwich Albion. Played, I don't know how many matches Tony played. I know he played, scored about 205 places. Anyway, he was great. And when I went to West Brom, I played against Tony, funny enough, quite a few times over the years. I wasn't very proud of it, but I did call him a lazy so-and-so one time when I was playing against him. Do you remember that, Tony, do you, when I went to West Brom?
Yeah, I do, John, yes. You've just reminded me.
Did he have a point?
Tony was one of the greats, Nathan. He was when I went to West Brom first, I didn't start off very well. Tony didn't start off very well, and I didn't realise what was going on. But there was a lot had gone on from the previous manager that the players didn't like, and Tony in particular. And I didn't understand it. But I found out very, very quickly that once Tony got going, and I think the training changed and various things changed, and Tony Brown became, he had been a great player for West Brom, but he became, for me, as manager of West Brom, a great player and a great lad. He was one of those, as a manager, does his training, does his playing, no fuss, no bother, and one of the best.
Tony, you've seen all sides of John Giles. You played against him and you played alongside him and under him. Playing against him, how good was he?
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. You know, you knew you were in for a game. You knew the rest of our team, we knew what a great player he was. We tried to stop him. We tried to plan to stop him, but you couldn't. You know, and when he came to West Brom, and you know, I played with him. The other lads played with him. They just found out what a great player he was, Nathan. And I always say, when I go to functions and have little talks with supporters, and they'll say, "Who's the best player you've ever played with?" And I say, Johnny Giles, without a doubt. Absolutely fantastic. And what he did for West Brom, Nathan, when he first came, I can't explain, because West Brom was down and out as a club when John took over, and he transformed it so quickly. And that first season he came as player manager, we got promotion back to the big time, and it was all down to John. He was a player manager as well, which made it better for us players to play with such a world-class player. And as I say, I played with some good players at West Brom, Nathan, but John stands out for me. And his knowledge of the game and how he transformed it and made the whole team enjoy playing their football, it was just a delight to play under him.
John, it's come up a few times tonight, the player-manager role at West Brom. It does sound a little bit insane that at the same time you were player-manager with the Republic of Ireland and player-manager with West Brom for a couple of years. How had you any time to do anything?
Well, funny enough, in the game, Nathan, they used to say, from manager's point of view, that once the players step over the white line, you've no control over them. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Now, when I was playing with Tony and the rest of the lads, I was playing with them, so I could have some control over it. And I think it depends on your temperament of whether you can do it or not. But my take on it was that what I was doing at West Brom wasn't anything different to what I was doing at Leeds. That was because that's the way I played, luckily enough, in that respect. So actually, and it was a plus being the player manager, because as you said before, they used to say once they step over the white line, you've no control over them. Well, I was stepping over the white line with the lads, so I did have some control over it. So that's the way it worked. I think if you have the temperament to do it, and I felt that I'd have the temperament to do it when I went to West Brom. And when I went there first, obviously, I played against these lads. I played against Tony for probably about 10 years. I called him a lazy so-and-so one time, and I'd had rows with a few of the other lads. But once we're in together, I got off to a bad start at West Brom, a slow start at West Brom. We didn't play very well early on. I think Tony wasn't in the team, and I think it was from the manager before. I think there was a lot of anyway. They didn't get on with the manager before, and I didn't know that. And I got a very, very slow start, and I think we played at Bristol. Tony might remember he scored that day. We won 2-0. Bristol had beaten somebody 5-0, and they were favourites to go up, and we beat them and beat them well. And I remember coming in at half time, we were no score, saying to the lads, "This is ridiculous." I could feel it, Nathan, that there was an inferiority complex there.
Right.
And we should have been ahead. And I said, "Look, we should have been ahead. Let's go and win." And we went down and win the match. And from then on, and actually Tony scored that day again, we went on and on and on and on from there. But that was the start of it. And Tony himself then became, well, Tony was a model for any manager. Come in, no problem, do his stuff, score goals. And Tony got his confidence back. I think Tony's confidence was low, as a lot of the players were. Tony got his confidence back and became the great player that he was at that particular time.
So Tony, if you were this model pro, why was John calling you a lazy so-and-so?
I think he was trying to wind me up.
That's when I played against him.
Could I just say he blocked his copybook once, you know, Nathan? He'd just come and he was player manager, and we played at Luton away, and they had a lad called Future playing for them. And before, in the team talk, John used to mention a few players. He said, "They've got this lad Future, just don't bother with him, leave him to me." And I don't know how long it was in the game, not long any road, and I think John did a bit of a silly tackle, really. He just mistimed it, and he caught Future just under the chin. Let me say that. That was the tackle he put on, and he got sent off immediately. Do you remember it, John?
Yes, I remember it well, Tony. What had actually happened?
He got sent off, and he came in the dress. We all came in at half time, and he was already changed into his normal gear. And he said, "Sit down, lads." He said, "I must just say that today I've let myself down." He said, "I've let the supporters down, I've let your club down, I've let you down, but it will never, ever happen again. But I think there's something been going on previously with this Future. I don't know, John will tell you, but after that, he was immaculate as a manager and a professional, and he made us all into better players, Nathan. That is a sign of a good manager, when they make the players better players than when he takes over with them. And as I say, that was a funny episode at Luton, but it was all forgotten after, and we had a terrific time. And as you know, he brought Mick Martin and Paddy Mulligan in to help him. They were tremendous as well. And John just created a brilliant atmosphere in the club, whereas in the previous manager, Nathan, players would come in 10 minutes before training, and then they would shoot off 10 minutes after training.
Right.
That's how poor it was. But with John, it was the complete opposite. Players were coming in an hour and a half before to have a bit of crack, you know, and then after training, they wouldn't leave the dressing room to go home. It was such a fantastic atmosphere, and all round, I can't tell you how much he transformed West Bromwich Albion. And I just wonder if John hadn't come in, where they'd have been today. He's amazing. So I think the whole of West Bromwich have got a lot to thank John for, and I have personally. And he's such a great player to play with. His passing ability. If you made a run, you knew he would find you. He could lose people in the telephone box. You know, his marker. They tried to mark him at the game, but he's just. I can't explain how good he was, and it's just a pleasure and a privilege to be on this evening and talk about you, John.
Tony, it's been brilliant to have you. You've been great to take the call. We must get you on again sometime and have a longer chat and go through your career. But you've been very good to come on tonight and talk with John.
We'll do that. We'll do that. I'll make a promise to Tony that when the virus thing is on, we'll get. I haven't seen him for a long time. So I'd love to get together, have a couple of drinks together, and go back over the old times. Tony. I forgot to mention it, Nathan. And he's the only West Brom player that's had a statue outside the ground.
Yeah.
And well deserved. I don't know if you have his record there. Have you, Nathan, for the viewers?
I have the record here. I think, is it 218 goals, Tony?
Yeah, league goals. Yeah,
218 league goals.
That's league goals.
All told, 270 odd. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't want to do you
270 goals. How many
goal.
appearances? How many appearances there, Tony? 700 or something.
I think it was 700-800, something like that. I'm not one for stats.
Right. There's the stats, Nathan. You think that 780 appearances and 270 goals. A legend, Tony. A legend. And the statue outside the ground is well deserved.
Great stuff, Tony. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again, hopefully.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nathan. And I say it's a pleasure. And I say an early happy birthday, John.
Thank you. Thanks, Tony. I'll be in touch. Thank you.
See you soon. Cheers.